Welcome back, everyone, to state-sponsored conspiracy podcast, the only conspiracy podcast that is funded by the government, so you know everything we say is completely true.
Unfortunately, Agent Humphrey Bogart over here, we broke his microphone. We were doing sort of Greco-Roman wrestling in the office again. It got a bit hot and heavy, and we smashed the microphone. So we're on one this time. So to our editing interns, I'm sorry, but you know you have a cushy federal job. So don't complain.
They're used to this.
They're used to the abuse, especially the ones that died in that tragic fireworks accident.
All the best to them. This is Hollywood Part 2. Maybe you guessed that from the title. But the most relevant conspiracy, we'll start with that one, which you might not think is connected to Hollywood, but it is. And this is a conspiracy that you brought to my attention, which is that the Maui wildfires were started by a space laser.
Which is true, by the way. We are going to be the first government entity to admit to the wrongdoings. Yeah, we did. It was a space laser. Wasn't on purpose? No. Are a bunch of, land developers going to capitalize on the tragedy? Yeah, but that wasn't our intention. It was an accidental misfire, and we're sorry, folks. Aloha.
If this is true, what was the laser originally supposed to be for?
I mean that, but, against like Russians and Chinese people.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, this relates to Hollywood because supposedly this is the conspiracy that, Oprah has a large property in Maui, and she was tired of using The Secret. She was tired of using manifesting and positive energy to get these big land deals passed where she can buy more land. So she decided to turn on her space laser and just blast Maui.
Her space laser?
Her space laser, yes.
She owns it?
Like, people think that she did this. Genuinely.
Okay, I guess if any celebrity is going to own a space laser, it could be Oprah. The other one I would be thinking of is, Gary Busey. I'm not sure he has the capital for that, though.
Well, here are the other celebrities who have a lot of land on Maui.
Maybe they all pooled their resources and bought a space laser.
Yes, these people could have also been partially responsible. Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Wow. Turn the laser on, Oprah. Clint Eastwood.
Insert Clint Eastwood impression.
You don't have a Clint Eastwood voice?
I hate Jewish people. Is that the right guy?
I don't think that he is that racist.
Oh, I know. He's like I hate black people. He's that type of guy.
I think he'd be more like, I hate Obama.
I hate Obama.
Turn the laser on.
Turn the laser on, Oprah.
Also, I think the last one is Steven Tyler is included in this. The supposed evidence for this whole space laser thing basically just amounts to a bunch of pictures of light. It's like, look at this big pillar of light.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, but none of those pictures are actually from Maui.
Right.
They're all just from like random things, like a power outage in Michigan in 2014. There's no actual pictures of Maui that depict a laser coming down from space. I really shouldn't even have to say that, but that is the case.
I heard that it was what actually started the fire was like some new like sculpture or like silvery statue that somehow was designed to perfectly reflect light to cause fires and stuff.
Huh, and I haven't heard of that.
And they were like, "Oh, The Simpsons predicted it." And there's a Simpsons episode where the same thing happened. But I don't know. I've seen just countless extremely dumb TikToks about the fire.
This is the conspiracy, or at least it was quite recently.
No, it's still going. There's still people making new videos about it.
Have you seen? This is supposedly additional evidence. There's areas where the trees have not burned,
right?
But some of the boats have burned. So people have said, how how could boat burn if boat in water? This must be laser.
Because boat water blue light reflect fire.
Well, boat have gas is the real answer.
Boat gas, yes.
Boats have gas, and then trees are full of water, so sometimes trees won't burn.
Tree water, no burn.
Yes. But some people don't realize that, and some people are like, only a space laser could be responsible for such strange damage.
I also saw that that the laser was designed to like only it was a blue laser, so it didn't affect anything that was blue. So like blue cars, blue houses, anything that's blue, that it's not on the spectrum that would be affected by the laser.
This is what people think lasers are.
Because there's some blue stuff that didn't get destroyed.
Huh. That might be my favorite now.
What's Oprah's favorite color? Blue.
I don't.
What's Owen Wilson's favorite color? Blue.
What do you think Owen Wilson's real favorite color is?
Probably blue. I don't know. There's like 3 colors.
These are pretty good reasons for thinking that it was not a laser, but I found another good counter argument. I was looking around on Twitter posts that references conspiracy, and I found a random user named QMum. So pretty much right there, you already know she's going to have good arguments. And she said this about the whole Oprah laser thing. She said, "This is not true. Oprah was rounded up a few years ago like the rest of Hollywood. She, or rather he, is higher up the food chain than the normal actors. There's been pictures of him wearing a moon boot."
A moon boot.
So clearly
a
here...
singular moon boot?
I could not figure out what the moon boot thing was. I don't know what she meant by that. Like, I couldn't even find a picture of Oprah wearing moon boots. I truly do not know what that means.
What? Do they mean like an astronaut shoe or like...
But, this would, if Oprah was indeed rounded up, she couldn't be firing off space lasers.
Wait, why does Oprah have to be a guy? Why wouldn't they just get a female actor?
Well, we're going to get a little bit more into those sorts of theories later.
Okay.
But this Twitter user, just to bring this up, she had a good tweet where she said, "It's the sunscreen that gives you cancer, not the sun."
I mean, different types of cancer, I guess.
So I read that, and now I don't use sunscreen. And I believe that. I'm completely burnt to a crisp right now.
You look fine to me.
So some people do not think it was Oprah, and they think that the reason this fire was started was so that this area of Maui could be turned into a smart city.
Right, I saw that too.
Yeah, so they had to clear all this stuff out, and in its place will be constructed like a sci-fi smart city where everything will be tracked and monitored, and everything will be electric, and you'll have to buy a Tesla at gunpoint or something, I guess, and there'll be no gas, and everything will be solar panels.
Now, why Maui? A place that seems, susceptible to volcanoes, tropical storms, not usually big fires, but I guess now fires.
See, I was thinking about this too, and I think the other reason you would not want to build your Orwellian smart city in Maui is because it would affect tourism. If you wanted to vacation in Hawaii, if you showed up and they said, "All right, you have to get this neural implant. We do things a little differently here on the islands. You will have to be tracked. You'll have to wear this mask. And here's the electric railway that goes to the governor's office where they will beam this into your brain."
The beach? No, we did get rid of that.
There's no beach. There's a light rail that is on the outside of the island.
We do have a holodeck. There is a beach program in that.
This would totally mess up the whole business. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be
they don't let you leave.
You're going to go there and then Klaus Schwab in a gimp suit is going to whip you. Is that what you want?
They give you a free Neuralink, but you have to work it off over your entire life in Maui.
Now, in real life,
it was a bird sanctuary, right? Was that a conspiracy theory also? Is it a bird sanctuary caught fire and that's what started it?
I hadn't heard that.
Uh-huh.
That seems less of a conspiracy and more like...
I don't think that... I'm not sure that one was a conspiracy. I think that was just the origin of the fire. It was a bird sanctuary.
Oh, that's too bad. But in real life, as in like actual reality, without the lasers and things, the governor of Hawaii has said that he is actually like working towards creating a like temporary ban on buying property so that people can't like swoop in and buy stuff. Maybe not Oprah. I don't know if she had plans to swoop in, but people in general may be like legally stopped from swooping in. So that's nice.
Yeah, but what about the people who lost all their homes and now they can't even get rid of their burned up property?
Well, I think they get like insurance. They can like rebuild or something. Better than losing everything, right? To Oprah or someone coming in.
I don't know. If I had to lose everything, I think I should go to Oprah.
You would want Oprah to have it?
Yeah, she seems nice enough.
You think she seems nice enough?
She seems nice enough to take everything from me after she burnt it with a space laser.
I would think that as such a big Wes Anderson fan, you would want your property to be bought by Owen Wilson.
Yeah, but I guess.
You know what? We can't discuss Wes Anderson anymore. The government does not pay us to discuss Wes Anderson. We're paid to discuss the conspiracies of the day. And I think this one, I was thinking about this space laser. And this is not the first time the laser wildfire thing has come up. Famously, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that the California wildfires were started by a Jewish space laser owned by the Rothschilds. Remember that?
Well, maybe that's the laser that Oprah and Owen and Clint Eastwood bought. They bought it from the Jews.
That could be. But I think that this, like, if you could invest in conspiracies, like if conspiracies had stock, I would say this is going to be one that is going to go way up. I think as extreme weather becomes more common, I think this is going to be like man-made disasters are going to become like the big conspiracy. Because I think,
do you think earthquake, like once the big one hits the West Coast, do you think that's going to be conspiracy?
Yeah, there will definitely be some sort of conspiracy for like every disaster now. Because I think these people, the space laser crowd is, they're very anti-climate change. So they're going to have something that explains sort of the rise in like common extreme weather. My guess would be the people who believe in the space laser are not thinking that cars cause climate change. Now, we touched on this a little bit with the QMum tweet. The next thing I want to talk about is transvestigation. You know about this?
Is this like what? Just go ahead and explain it.
It is what you think it is.
Okay.
This is sort of a broad theory where people think that there is a like vast system in place in Hollywood where many famous A-list actors are secretly transgender and that they are secretly the opposite gender, or they were born the opposite gender, and that this is like very common among actors that they switch genders before they become famous. So the whole time they've been famous, you think that it's a woman, but it was a man. For instance, this is one of my favorites. Frank Smith is a transvestigator who's made a lot of good infographics. And according to him, Paris Hilton, he said, quote, "Women do not have square jaws, huge necks, and broad shoulders like Paris has. They have all these graphics and videos and things analyzing actors and pointing out how they are actually the opposite gender. So you have Paris Hilton, jaw too square,
right,
neck too big. He's saying that's a man." And what's really funny about this one is that she does have a sex tape.
Well, CGI.
That the CGI.
If this really is a big Hollywood conspiracy, then obviously you're gonna have some CGI guys on it.
I can see that, but it's just funny to me that they go after someone who is. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that Paris Hilton is a biological woman.
Now Elliot Page, when Elliot Page before he transitioned, is Elliot Page double transitioned? Was it boy girl boy?
No. In all of my looking up transvestigation things, I have never seen a reference to an actual transgender actor. They are not concerned with people like that.
Is Michelle Obama related to this?
Yes. That's transvestigation.
She's not Hollywood though.
Well, it's just famous people.
Oh, okay.
The elites.
Hillary Clinton.
I have not seen Hillary.
Bill Clinton.
I have not seen that, although that would be funny. Here's what I have seen. There's a guy named Truth Corps 7. This is another transvestigation channel. This seems to be one of the popular ones. This is what he had to say about Ice Spice. Clavicles too straight, head too square, and she's faking stuff with hyper-realistic bodysuits and implants.
I mean, implants, sure.
Sure.
How about that? Bodysuits?
A bodysuit, yes.
Okay.
So he looks at Ice Spice and he says, "This head is a little bit too square for me. That's a man, I think." Now, another thing he pointed out with Ice Spice.
This is all making too much sense.
Now, another thing he pointed out with Ice Spice, this is not strictly related, but he also points out that she has a butterfly tattoo on her arm, which he believes is a symbol of being an MK Ultra mind control victim, because it was something called Project Monarch, as in a monarch butterfly.
Okay, so we're making this a combo meal of conspiracy.
Yes, this is a combo, and I'd like to bring it up because I thought the origin was interesting. Because the whole Project Monarch thing, I used to think that Project Monarch was an actual code name for something like MK Ultra, but it turns out it is completely the creation of a woman named Kathy O'Brien, who wrote a book called Transformation of America, where she claimed that when she was a kid, she was part of Project Monarch and MK Ultra. And this is a good quote from her book that I think illustrates the level of craziness that she is on. She said, "Bush apparently activated a hologram of the lizard-like alien, which provided the illusion of Bush transforming like a chameleon before my eyes. In retrospect, I understand that Bush had been painstakingly careful in positioning our seats in order that the hologram's effectiveness be maximized." So Project Monarch was started by someone who said that Bush was a hologram chameleon in front of her. And then the next time you see Ice Spice's butterfly tattoo, I want you to think about that. He also, Truth Corps, the transvestigator, he also has a good video going through an entire Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition, saying that they're all men. That's probably my favorite video of his, where he goes like
just random models, just random bikini models. He's like, trans.
He has a Jenna Ortega analysis where he says she has an angular shaped skull, high set cheekbones, and deep set eyes that indicate that she is a man.
She's got a kind of mannish chin.
She does, but actually what he says, he doesn't really say that. He
doesn't even bring up the most man-like feature.
Well, he doesn't, and what he says actually is Jenna is quite petite and almost soft-looking. It's difficult to spot the masculine features unless you know what to look for.
I think he's just attractive.
I think he thinks she's cute, but doesn't want to admit it.
He's got a crush.
I think he does. He said Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra might have been women. He doesn't explain that at all. He just said they might be women.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know where he's getting that. Brendan Fraser He said has a female chin, soft eyes, small ears, and no male intensity in his gaze. So he could be a woman.
No. No.
Now, he believes... This is real. I'm not even making this up.
So all the men are women, and all the women are men?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. He seriously believes that Chris Brown and Rihanna swapped those genders. So that was a woman. So that was a biological woman beating a biological man, according to him. He's seriously.
Wait, so just every famous, anybody with even micro celebrities, people who are just like models in a magazine.
He's cracking down.
Okay.
Doja Cat, he said, has a big skull shape.
All right, I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't want to hear any slander.
I think if you look at Doja Cat and the first thing you think is big skull shape, you may have a serious problem.
If you look at Doja Cat, there's only a couple thoughts you can have immediately, and if any of those have to do with her being trans, I think maybe you're too lost in the sauce.
This is a man who has possibly never been outside. Zendaya, he said, has, quote, thick neck muscle, and that she is also a man.
Yep.
Yeah,
even though she was, on Disney Channel when she was like 13, already a girl.
Already swapped.
So when do they have time to transition?
When I look at Zendaya, I think she has a thick neck, like a linebacker.
I'm like, damn. That's a thick neck.
What's funny to me is, like, he goes after the skinny actress, like Zendaya, and he goes after the very curvy ladies.
Does he ever talk about people who are child actors?
No.
So if you're a child actor, you couldn't have had a chance to transition.
I don't know, because he came down pretty hard on Zendaya.
Right.
That was like a definite for him.
Who was a child actor.
I mean, he might not know about that. But I think it's like there's no way you can escape him. Like, you can't escape him by being very feminine looking like Doja Cat, and you can't escape him by being like thin and not being super curvy like Zendaya.
You're gonna tell me like a young Brendan Fraser? That's not just peak male?
I would say yes, but I guess he's looking at the gaze. He's looking at the feminine energy.
Every man aspires to be.
Not this guy. Not Truth Corpse.
Well, I want to know what Truth Corpse looks like. I want to accuse him of being trans.
Actually, it's funny that you say that, because they're probably the biggest controversy in the transvestigator online world.
They accuse each other of being trans?
They do.
That's awesome.
Inanna Snow was the head of a big transvestigation Facebook page. And to show how extreme she was, she thought Henry Cavill was a woman.
Nope.
Henry Cavill, who basically looks like Giga Chad in real life.
Right.
She said...
Literally Superman.
Yes, Superman himself. She said Henry Cavill's girly eyes show he cannot be a guy. No matter how much work they get done, they can't change the energy coming out of the eyes, the windows to the soul.
What? Human eyes don't have sexual dimorphism.
So she looked Henry Cavill in the eyes and she said, this is a woman, a biological woman.
Feel it in her spirit. Henrietta is in there.
So she posted stuff like that. But then the group turned on her when she posted a picture of herself and said that she was trans. And she tried to defend herself. So
she was a transvestigator for a completely different reason. She wanted people to be trans.
And they said, you are the one who is trans. And so she defended herself by posting this video to the Facebook group of her like in a bikini, like pointing out her like skull and her boobs and saying like, I am clearly a woman. But they did not believe her. This was not good enough for them. And so the Facebook group like totally fell apart. And now if you look up Inanna Snow, she posts like chess videos on YouTube. She's moved on to becoming a chess YouTuber. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up. It's so...
I'm actually just in disbelief.
This, I think, it's... you really could not have made up a funnier conspiracy than this.
That the leader of the transvestation community gets outed for being trans, even if they're not trans.
I probably could not have made up something funnier. That is real. If you just look up Inanna Snow. It's hilarious. This episode of state-sponsored Conspiracy Podcast is brought to you by the United States Marines. Comprised not of a brotherhood or sisterhood, this is a warriorhood. Marines represent the face of our nation because they come from all parts of it, contributing different backgrounds and walks of life into the fight that defends America's way of life. Driven by an innate desire to answer our nation's call, an unwavering commitment to emerge victorious, and a collective purpose that defines our unbreakable bond, Marines win the battles in front of them with an inner fight running through them. Now then, at the end of the email, it just says, riff on joining the Marines. That's the email they sent me for this ad read. And, here's what I'll say about the Marines. A lot of you are probably listening to this, and you're thinking, well, I don't want to join the Marines because I like going on Discord and playing Fortnite and Overwatch 2. Or maybe you're older, we have an older audience, and so maybe you're thinking, I don't want to join the Marines. I'm going to, I don't know what older people do. I'm going to watch The Office on the computer. I'll watch The Office instead of joining the Marines. Here's what you're wrong about. This is a false dichotomy that you've created for yourselves. Because how do you think Discord works on your computer? How do you think you're playing Overwatch 2? That runs on microchips. And microchips come from Taiwan. China is going to take over Taiwan. And there will be no more Fortnite, no more Discord, no more The Office, unless you storm the beaches of Taiwan and save those microchips. You're going to have to do it sooner or later. You're going to have to do it. This choice of, I'll play on Discord. This is an illusion that you've created in your mind. You will have to do this if you want to keep playing Overwatch. You're going to have to storm the beach, and you're going to have to stop Xi Jinping from taking those factories. So you can basically either join now, and in the future you can say, yeah, I joined the Marines, and I fought Xi Jinping, and I was on those beaches in the microchip factory beaches. Or you can say, I got drafted, and somebody had to push me onto the beach. A guy with a cowboy hat had to push me onto the beach and say, get in the fucking factory now. But so you have to pick one of those to do. I hope you guys make the right choice. Anyway, now we can get back to talking about murders, which is mostly what we talked about last time. These are the Hollywood murders that are... Last time we got Patton Oswalt.
He's in jail now forever.
Okay, by the way, I mentioned William Shatner last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So his third wife drowned in their pool, and I looked into that, the conspiracy that he killed her, and you said if he did, it's fine, he earned it. But basically, this is such an obscure conspiracy, I could only find one podcast that had a big 90-minute episode accusing him of killing his wife.
They made a 90-minute episode about accusing William Shatner?
Yes.
Damn, I wish we had that kind of
energy. Where they go, well, the thing is, there's no real evidence, so a lot of the episode is just them, talking about William Shatner's, early career and life in Hollywood. It's kind of like when you see those videos that are, 10 hours analyzing, Word Girl, and then it's just mostly, summarizing the episodes.
Right.
Yeah, they really dragged it out. We get straight to the point on this show.
We never drag out anything.
we just come here with the facts, or the things that are clearly not facts.
Yeah, accusations that are clearly jokes.
Puff Daddy killed Tupac. That's the conspiracy I want to talk about now. Have you heard of this?
Isn't that just the truth?
Well,
This isn't Hollywood. This is music.
It's close enough. It's the biz.
It's not all one biz.
It's the entertainment industry.
Okay.
But the reason this conspiracy was around, that Puff Daddy did it, but it kind of became more solidified recently because Biggie's mom sued the LAPD for allegedly covering up the death of her son. And this led to the official case being reopened and handed over to LAPD detective Greg Carding, which is a good detective name, by the way.
I've heard better. Nero Wolfe, Dick Tracy, Cole Phelps.
Those are all better names,
yeah.
But I'm going to continue. 3 years later, after it's officially reopened, Detective Carding comes out and he has a book where he officially says Puff Daddy hired a hitman to kill Tupac because of the beef with Biggie. And he even names the specific gang member who he said was the hitman, although this gang member is deceased.
So Puff Daddy did not kill Tupac?
No, not personally. He didn't pull the trigger, but he put the hit out on him.
Okay.
See, people don't expect this based on my voice, but as someone who's really from the streets myself, I kind of know how these things work, you know? I know what goes on in the streets. So then, according to Detective Carding, Suge Knight hires his own hitman to kill Biggie out of revenge, and that's how they both end up dead.
Why is Suge Knight in jail? Is that what he's in jail for?
I thought he was dead. Wait, look that up.
Suge Knight is serving a 28-year prison sentence at the R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego, California, for a 2015 fatal hit and run. Free Suge Knight.
Yeah.
Then put him back for putting the hit out.
Yeah, free him for this and then re-arrest him immediately for killing Biggie.
Double jeopardy.
So at first I thought, this was kind of a roller coaster for me. Because I thought, this is real. Because Detective Carding is a real guy who had access to all the case information. But then, the legitimacy started to go down when I found out that he was kicked off of this investigation due to separate internal affairs investigation. They said, you're too hot. You're off the case. And he was kicked off. But then I realized this actually makes it more legitimate. Because think about every movie and TV detective. They go in and they say, turn in your badge and your gun. But then they solve the case. The alcoholic divorce detective is always the one who gets it done.
That literally happens in True Detective Season 1.
This is who you want on the case.
Woody Harrelson does that.
So I feel like if Carding is like a disgraced detective, which I think he is, that actually makes it more likely that P. Diddy killed him.
So who's at the top trying to cover this up for P. Diddy? The
Oprah.
governor?
Probably Oprah, who's like the head of all black entertainment.
Right. I think that is true. I think she is. If there is a secret black council, Oprah would probably at the top.
Or it's like the evil BET people from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
The other hip-hop assassination, this is much less plausible. Puff Daddy, I'll give it a little bit of a maybe. That's as much as I can give to the Puff Daddy thing.
I'll give it a 60% probability.
Okay. What do you think about Drake killing XXX Tentacion? Do you know about this?
Yeah, you brought this up before. I gave that a 100%.
So the only
No, actually, when you brought this up, I gave that a 0%. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna give it 100.
You're sticking with 100? I haven't even discussed any of the supposed evidence.
I'm switching my position from 0% happening to 100% happening.
I will let you change your mind after I explain why it's a theory.
I'm locking in.
So, the reason this is even a thing at all is because XXX Temptation, or Ja, as the real fans know him. He once tweeted, "If I die, Drake killed me," which does actually seem kind of suspicious. But this was like way before he actually died.
Now, how did Ja die again?
Some guys shot him and stole his money and Lamborghini.
Hired by Drake.
So the theory goes. And the defense attorney for the guys who actually did shoot Ja, he actually brought this up in court, like officially, and tried to get like Drake into court purely based on this tweet. He was like, you guys need to go arrest Drake and get him in this courtroom. But the judge threw it out and said it was nonsense because there's no real evidence connecting Drake to anything.
That's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. This is he must have a real, like, these guys had like a Saul Goodman type lawyer
It's
here.
like Phoenix Wright.
Wait, did you end on 100% he did it, or
100%? I'm sticking with it. I locked in.
You're sticking with that?
Drake, your time is up, buddy. By next episode, Drake's gonna be booked with Suge Knight and P. Diddy.
Mark my words. By the next episode, either Patton Oswalt, Suge Knight, or Drake will be in jail.
Every celebrity we've named in this episode is going to jail by next episode.
This what was funny is that we're saying this as a joke, but like QAnon said this for real and people believed it.
Every celebrity is going to jail and being forcibly detransitioned. And
people just were like, real. I believe this.
And we're putting Detective Casper Jones back on the force.
Carding.
We're putting Carding back on the force. We're making him chief.
I will personally hand him his badge and his gun back.
In fact, we're giving him 2 guns. We're gonna see what he can do akimbo.
This is like the original famous Hollywood murder. The Manson murders. There's a conspiracy Manson...
Is this going to be spoilers from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Because I still haven't watched that movie.
It is not.
Okay.
Because this is not what really happened. But the conspiracy theory is that Manson was an MK Ultra victim.
Oh, yeah.
And basically the reasoning behind this is just, well, MK Ultra, the CIA, was blasting people with LSD. And that's what Manson did to his cult to try to manipulate them. So people say, well, he must have learned that from the CIA. But luckily for me, I did not have to research this conspiracy very much because the work had already been done for me. If you go to CIA.gov, you will find an analysis of the 2019 book that really kicked off this conspiracy, which is called Chaos: Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. It was by Tom O'Neill, and it took him like 20 years to make, which is even longer than the movie Boyhood, which everyone hyped up, and they said it took 12 years to make.
Wasn't that movie like very average?
But it took 12 years to make. It took him 20 years to make this book. But luckily, our bosses at the CIA have already covered this. And here's what they said.
They did a totally unbiased investigation on themselves.
Yes. This is zero bias facts that I'm spitting here. Despite what his title implies, he's talking about the book. He cannot document any compelling link between these programs and Manson. This was not for lack of effort. Extensive research and a slew of Freedom of Information requests did not produce a smoking gun or much beyond the shadowy, ill-explained presence around these events of Reeve Whitson, an alleged intelligence operative. O'Neill, the author, also examines the CIA program MKUltra, which may have gotten him closer to his goal, but not much. Conceived by Richard Helms and authorized by Alan Dulles in 1953, MKUltra studied mind control, one possible path to which was hallucinogenic drugs. So as you can see, the CIA has already come out and said that they didn't do it. So they didn't.
Thanks, CIA.
Thank you. We can move on to the next conspiracy. This is already done.
I already know what the next conspiracy is.
You do?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
Stevie Wonder isn't blind.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
Now, I'm choosing to end on this one because I think the last Hollywood episode ended on one that I'm pretty much convinced is real.
This one that you're doing now, Stevie Wonder not being blind, I will tell you that the black community wholly believes this. Basically, everybody who hears this conspiracy theory immediately believes it, and all the evidence is it's just true. It's just a true conspiracy theory. He's not blind.
There is some real evidence. For instance, there is the infamous mic stand catch video.
Right.
Where you can find this easily on YouTube. Paul McCartney, clumsy old man Paul McCartney, bumps into a mic stand, and Stevie Wonder instantly catches it before it falls over.
Paul McCartney murdered in her place, by the way.
Fall McCartney.
Yeah.
And there's that. And the other thing that is convincing to me is that he regularly attends NBA games, Stevie Wonder, which would not make a ton of sense if he was fully blind.
He's just listening to the ball.
Now, this is also true. So what happened to Stevie Wonder was that he was born very premature, and this resulted in retinopathy of prematurity, or ROP. ROP, which is basically growth in the eyes is aborted, and your retinas become detached. So that did happen. And so what I think it is that, like, some people think being blind is like just fully like blacked out, like you just perpetually see like a black screen. But there are like levels of being blind where there's people you can sort of see light, and I think Stevie Wonder must not be 100% blind. He must not be as blind as it appears to be.
No, he's totally functional.
You think he's 100%?
Yeah, he probably like bought the eyeballs of like a dying African child and implanted them.
Just an eye transplant?
Yeah. Stevie Wonder is probably also on the board of black dictators, along with Oprah and Obama, and, you know, Kanye West probably.
I think he's kicked off.
And I'm going to go ahead and say Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would want Shaq on there. I don't think those people would get along with Kanye. I think they would kick him off.
Well, no, that's just what they want you to think, so that you wouldn't think that there's a black board of dictators. You know, Oprah's probably not at the top. It's probably Kanye.
You know, actually, this reminds me of something I was gonna talk about. I didn't put it in my notes because I thought, well, it's not really too fleshed out. But since you bring up Kanye, there are a lot of people online who, whenever something
Kanye is trans.
I hope that there are trans investigators who think he's trans. That would be hilarious. But basically, there are people who, whenever something embarrassing happens to a celebrity, they say, what this is an Illuminati humiliation ritual. You've probably heard the term humiliation ritual. And the conspiracy is that in order to get initiated into the Hollywood elite and reach the top level of the Freemason castle or whatever, you have to go through this humiliation.
You got to get jumped in.
Yeah. So Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, that's a humiliation ritual. Kanye, everything that's ever happened to Kanye, that's a humiliation ritual. Any scandal is essentially part of this conspiracy. And I would add, I haven't seen this, but this would be my contribution, getting slimed at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
I'd probably choose that one over other scandals.
If so, like,
because that's not really a scandal, that's just entertainment.
So you're saying if you got to choose what ritual you had to have, you'd go with getting slimed?
Yeah, as a kid, they really pushed the slime. Like, as a kid, you wanted to get slimed, right?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was never into slime as a child.
Well, yeah, but getting Nickelodeon slimed seemed like some sort of high honor for a child.
Maybe this was just because I didn't have Nickelodeon growing up.
You had Nickelodeon.
We didn't have cable. I never saw the slime.
You had cable?
No. It was just PBS and 4Kids TV for me.
Oh my god.
That's really all I wanted to cover. This is the end of the Hollywood discussion.
And we're done talking about entertainment industry conspiracies forever. We're never going to talk about any conspiracies related to the entertainment industry ever again.
Yeah.
We're not even going to bring up Kanye. We're never going to reference some sort of anime you've never heard of.
Yeah.
It's 9/11 truthers from here on out.
Just 9/11.
9/11, maybe Sandy Hook.
No, I know what the next couple episodes are going to be.
Are we going to do an Alex Jones spectacular?
No, it's going to be, we're doing something it's going to be revealing not just about the material we're covering, but it's going to be revealing about us, the hosts.
No.
It's going to be an emotional experience for the listeners and for the
I don't
talkers.
like having emotions.
It's going to be... I haven't told you about this, have I?
Do we have any emails?
No.
All right.
We have a couple phishing emails.
Okay, well, to all the different Nigerian princes, no thanks. To Nigel, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, Nigel.